a little strange, and I don't know if anyone's gonna get it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know what it is, but like I feel everything going on inside my body. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode on Healed and Whole. I'm Dr. Donicia, a pharmacist who had 15 fibroids removed just last year. And in today's video, I want to share with you my 1-year post-op journey. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, and what I wish I would have known before having my laparoscopic myomectomy. So let's get right into it. You know, there's just been so much that I've learned. There's just been so much, that I've like grown in, and I'm so happy to have this channel to be able to share all of that with you guys. There's a couple things that I really just want to share of like what I wish I knew. And one of the biggest things was that we live in a time where we have so much access to information, which is a good and a bad thing. So a little bit before my surgery, I was doing so much research on diet, on exercise, on vitamins, on supplements, all the things like microplastics and like all this stuff. And so I was just like, after my surgery, I am not going to let anything into my body that is hormone disrupting. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that these fibroids never come back. And, for the first few months, that definitely was the case. I was avoiding a lot of things when it came to certain foods and certain like products and like certain cleaning things and like, containers that I use for my food. And it was overwhelming. Like, y'all, it was bad. And I'm not saying that these are bad things. I think it is very important to make some adjustments in your life, but I think it's also important to gradually do that. And it's also important to do those things in moderation. Whereas I was just like, no, I am going all in. I'm going hard right now, which was so dangerous. And I began to realize that I was becoming very anxious. It was to the point where like I would go out to eat with friends and I'm just like internally freaking out. I'm just like, is this the chicken wing that can cause my fibroids to grow back? Is this going to be the piece of steak that is not grass-fed, pasture-raised, grass-finished, organic that is going to cause my fibroid to grow back? It was bad. And I just got so anxious because I would be so scared. And I'm just like, if I eat this, like, what if this causes my hormones to just go out of whack? Like, what if this? And it was overwhelming, to say the least. And I remember just having to, take some time to really just like talk to friends, to pray. And, I had to realize that, yes, it is important to make changes in your diet and your lifestyle to help support an environment where fibroids can't grow, but also not to be so restrictive to the point that you do not live. And that's what was happening. And I feel like no one really talked about this on the internet, about like the post fibroid removal anxiety that you can have, about the fear of them coming back. Before I even had the surgery, like right before they put me under, the doctor was just like, yeah, you just have to make sure every year that you're following up because these do come back. And I was just like, okay, so it's just so much, especially when you have doctors saying all this stuff like, oh, this is going to come back, so you have to get surgery again. Oh, it's going to, and it's just so just like, they're like speaking at you and like providing all this information at you that can be so overwhelming. And so it can really force you to like, just at least it did for me, like to just go into like a spiral of like all the things that I should be doing, shouldn't be doing, like, and then it just became overwhelming. And then that stress can lead to fibroids. So now you're just like, oh my gosh, how do I not stress? Because if I'm stressing, it's going to lead to like, it was just too much. And so one of the biggest things that I wish I would have known before having surgery is like, yes, information is good, but also take everything in moderation. Don't be too hard on yourself. Also, give yourself grace. And so one of the ways that I started to like have balance in my life was, not being so restrictive on like, my diet, my lifestyle, but to just make small steps that have big impact, right? So one of the things that I did, it was like, I love to eat. I love certain foods. Like I love dairy, which I really cut out dairy so much, which is like, praise God. But what I told myself was, okay, if you're going to eat the foods that you like, cook the foods that you like with the ingredients that your body will like. So using more whole food ingredients. So if I do want to have a piece of steak, if I do want some pasta with ground beef, I'm going to just make sure that the ingredients that I'm using, like when I buy beef, I get grass-fed, grass-finished, organic, and I try to limit that to like maybe like one a month or so, because I meal prep. So if I do like make something like that, especially pasta, like I'll have it for like the whole week. So like 1 week out of the month, I'll have that. When I'm buying pasta, like I get chickpea pasta, things like that, to still enjoy the foods that I eat, but also making adjustments so that my hormones are not like out of whack, right? And another thing, like when I go out to eat with friends, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't eat this, I can't eat this, I can't, and like get stressed out. I'm gonna enjoy my time out with friends, but I'm also gonna make sure that the next day I'm hydrating myself, that I'm getting lots of fiber, and I'm making sure that my body is removing things properly. And so this definitely changed my perspective so much, and it allowed me to not be so restrictive, but to live a life of balance, as opposed to if you try to go all in of trying to like cut out and do all these different things, it can only last for a certain time. But when you implement small steps and have balance, it can last a lifetime. And so even when I like go grocery shopping, like there are things I just won't buy because I know if it's in the house, I'm gonna eat it, right? I meal prep so that way I have food in the freezer. So every day for lunch, I like bring my own lunch. I know what's in my food, and I won't feel guilty about eating something because I know what's in it, right? So I'll do another video about like the food and like how I eat and meal prep. It has been a game changer for me and I absolutely love it. Another thing that I will mention, and this is more like on the clinical side of things, after I had my surgery, I had shared this in another video about my iron. Like my iron took some time to regulate, to get back on track. And so I feel like one of the biggest things was that it's to say, okay, get surgery, remove the fibroids and your iron will be great. But it took some time to get to that point. So one of the things is to really be mindful, is making sure that you have a diet that supports iron so that your body can like slowly rebuild your iron stores and to like get back on track with that. And so you can watch my other videos on like the vitamins and the supplements that I take. That was something that like no one really told me about. So like when I was seeing the hematologist, it was just like, oh my gosh, your iron is still low. And I'm just like, okay, let me take supplements, because I thought that I just was good and I wouldn't need to take these anymore. But still be mindful of like what your body needs, like your nutrients. Go to your follow-up appointments, please, like get checked out. The next thing, it's a little strange and I don't know if anyone's gonna get it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know what it is, but like I feel everything going on inside my body. For example, like, I don't know, like I feel like little twings and like pulls and like when I have to like pee, I feel that. Okay, like I probably sound crazy. I don't know. It's like it's not like a pressure. It's nothing painful. It's nothing concerning, but it's just kind of just like, oh, I'm feeling something in there. And it may feel weird. And obviously, like if it's something really painful, if it's something that is like, it feels really off, definitely talk to your doctor. But I had to realize that although it's been months, it's been a year after my surgery, your body is still healing and there's some things that may change a little bit, especially when it comes to things like your nerves and things like that. So I definitely feel like things in my abdomen. And again, like I said, it's nothing concerning. It's just like, oh, I'm just more aware of this now, if that makes sense. Oh, and one other thing I want to address, someone commented about experiencing delayed back pain after their surgery. Yes, 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 and yes. No one really talks about this, but after my surgery, I felt fine. Like obviously like I had like the gas pains and like my body was healing. But when I started to feel good and like was walking around, I started to notice lower back pain and it was painful. Like I couldn't sit, like I had to be like leaning over. This lasted for like weeks. And I was like, what is going on? But then eventually it went away. Then when I had to have the procedure to like go back in to remove scar tissue, the same thing happened, but it was a lot sooner. So it was like a few days, I felt fine. And then all of a sudden I had this lower back pain. And this lasted for at least like a month or two. Like I had to go to get physical therapy. Like that's how serious it was. And so when I spoke to the surgeon, he was just like, most likely what's going on when you are in these procedures and surgeries, like your legs are on stirrups. You know, like when you go to like the gynecologist office, it's like that. You're positioned like weirdly. So that could put strain on your back. That can, you know, do things like that. So thankfully, with physical therapy, stretching, and like learning different workouts to really strengthen the muscles around my back, it definitely helped a lot. But you know, here and there, like I'll still have some back pain, but definitely delayed back pain is something that no one prepared me for. So I'm really glad that someone had commented that on one of my videos asking about that, because that was definitely a thing. Now, of course, like I always say, like make sure you talk to your doctor, your pharmacist, if you're going to start any medications or if you have any issues that feel uncomfortable, like definitely talk to your doctor before just like casually saying, oh, okay, well, someone else experienced this, so I'm fine. No, I sought my doctor. I got the images, I got the test just to make sure everything was good. So I definitely want to encourage that. So that's it for today's video. I really hope that this was helpful, and I really hope that, you know, on your recovery journey that you are learning, you are growing, and you are also giving yourself grace, okay? So be sure to like, comment, and share this video. It could be helpful to someone who experienced a laparoscopic myomectomy or a myomectomy. And yeah, let's encourage each other. Comment below anything that you wish you would have known before your surgery. Comment any questions that you may have. I'm so happy to be a resource and a help if I can be. So that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.